Hello and welcome back to a bit of a different video. Today I'm joined by Alex from Vici News, who is an Austrian football fan. So I'm going to be asking him a few questions about RB Salzburg. So hopefully together we can all learn a little bit about Austrian football. So Alex, I've heard Salzburg play in a pretty unique style of football. Is this something that they've invented, or have they copied this from elsewhere in Europe?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if they invented this kind of style, but they definitely did in Austria, and they brought it to the scene. And if you watch a game of them, it's always high pressing, always on the offensive. You know, all youth players get it implemented through the youth ranks. It's really a philosophy at that, and they're really fast paced and direct and high line. But it's also a common weakness of them because they often get exposed of that at the back. So basically, I think if you can summarize it, it's Salzburg always thinks outscore your opponent rather than waiting for them. So it's a really offensive kind of tactic.
So because they play in such a unique way, is there any sort of attributes that a player needs to have to fit in a bit better at the club?
Yeah, they need the fast players, definitely. I mean, I don't know if you're watching right now, but over the years they have always been fast strikers. I mean, Patson Daka at the moment, who's also heavily linked to the Premier League, is really fast. You know, if he can get behind the defender, he's away. He never gets caught. And over the last years, I mean, Erwin Haaland was also a very fast player in that sense, and also very strong. So you need that kind of players at the front to be able to achieve that high pressing game and that fast paced game especially.
So do Salzburg start off with any key players? Is there anyone that's more important than anyone else in the squad?
I mean, I wouldn't say there's any important player. I think it sounds kind of cheesy, but the most important players are the team in that sense, because if one player is not attaching to that strategy, it's not going to work. So, but if I have to choose, I mean, he's moving to Leipzig now. So Dominik Szoboszlai was one of them, but he's now at Leipzig. Now at the moment, I would say the captain. It's Andreas Ulmer, because he's the left back and he's already 36, I think, at the moment. So really old player. A really old player for Salzburg standards. So, but he's the leader, the guy who is the voice on the pitch, and I think he's maybe one of the most important now in Salzburg.
Because Salzburg are so successful, is there any kind of copying going on with the other Austrian teams? Is there a movement towards this style of football in Austrian football and maybe the national team?
The funny thing about that is that it's getting caught up in Austrian football right now, because Salzburg kind of encouraged them to do so, because beforehand Austrian football was kind of very conservative and very defensive. And when Salzburg started in the season, I would say 2013, 2015, in that season between them, they started really playing that high-paced football. And then some other teams adapted to that. For example, Lask, who played, for example, Manchester United in the last season and lost, I think, 5-0, something like that. Or WRC, Wolfsberg RC, who are playing Tottenham in the Europa League now, are also kind of, copying that style because they think it works. And other teams who are more traditional in Austria, like RB or Austria, are kind of getting behind now because they're not adapting to current football meta.
Can you see anyone else in the Austrian league making the step up to Salzburg? I know they're probably a bit better than the other teams in the league, but I'm sure there's some players that could probably justify moving to Salzburg to improve the team.
I mean, there are a few. I mean, I think the most important position which Salzburg needs right now is the goalkeeper position, because the current goalkeeper is Stankovic, but he's not really, that talent, that standard which Salzburg needs. And there's one goalie, which is also the national goalie of Austria, Alexander Schlager from Lask Linz, who is, who would be a great addition because he's really good at reflexes and he's very commanding from his back. So, I would definitely say him when we talk about Lask.
So, unfortunately, there's a bit of corruption on the audio in this next section. But I asked Alex how Salzburg is viewed in Austrian football compared to Leipzig. Of course, Leipzig are viewed very negatively in German football, especially with the way that they're owned. So I thought it would be interesting to find out how the Austrians viewed them in comparison.
Yeah, that's the thing. In Austria, it's more grounded, I would say, because Red Bull, as you said, is an Austrian company, and it is also based in Salzburg, so it's kind of a local product in that sense. But of course, it's still a bit controversial because that took over the old club, which was called Austria Salzburg, and made it 100% theirs. So they are 100% owning them. But I think as you said, I think in Austria it's more it's more like a rivalry. We like them really much at Repeat Austria and stuff like that. But first thing is you have the money. Second thing, you have to have a plan, and you can't buy players. I mean, I think you also have to have a philosophy and a game plan for that.
So that's it for all the questions I've got ready to ask you today, Alex. So thank you for coming along. If you've got anything you want to say at the end of the video, feel free to spend a few seconds now.
So yeah, thanks for the invitation to your channel. I think the people here watching should definitely subscribe to it because it's a very good channel and I'm not biased. So definitely subscribe to this fella. And if you want to have a look at Austrian League, please do so. I think it's very important that the Austrian League gets more attention because they're really doing a great job right now at preserving some great football. And yeah, if you like the video, like the video. If you want to share it. And if you want to comment something, the comments are down below.
So thank you for coming on, and I'll make sure to put your channel right at the top of the description. Make sure you check out Alex's channel in the description below. It's mainly a football channel, so if you're interested in my channel, more than likely you'll also be interested in his. If you're from a nation that you think deserves a bit more attention on YouTube and the FIFA space, then feel free to drop me a message on Discord and I'll see if I can do something like this with your nation. I'm very interested in learning a bit more about some of the rarer nations in Europe, but even if you're French or German, then feel free to drop me a message and we'll see what we can do. So thanks for watching today, guys, and thanks a bunch, Alex, for filling out most of this video for me. But for today, that's all. Bye.